So, hi everyone, welcome to the first interview experience webinar by proxy. Today with us, we have Ashi Bhardwaj. She's a final year student at Delhi Technological University. She had received an on-campus placement, but unfortunately her offer got revoked due to COVID. However, she turned the situation in her favor and now has a full-time offer at Atlassian. Today, she is here with us to share her experiences. So, Ashi, could you tell us about your journey, how about your internships, placement offers, and how you went by once your offer was revoked?
Yeah, so I'll start with the interview experience during the internship season.
Yeah.
Um uh, it began in August, like in 2018, and I took a fair amount of time to bag an internship also. Like for 1 month, I had no offers, and then suddenly in September, I had offer from two of really good companies,
Yeah.
which were Morgan Stanley and Adobe. So yeah, you need to be very perseverant when it comes to placements and internships. Then again, after my internship ended, I did not get a PPO and I had to sit for campus placements. It was a tedious journey. And finally, again in September, I bagged a campus placement, which was a decent placement, but I was not quite satisfied. So I was applying on off campus since September only. So finding a job is really tough, not only in this COVID situation, but in general also. Like it is very difficult to crack an off-campus offer. So I remember I have been rejected by almost all of the big companies I wanted to be in. But I think Atlassian is like a blessing which just came. So whenever we are talking about placements, rejections are a part of it, and we really need to deal with it. So in April, first week, I got to know that my on-campus offer has been revoked, and like I was almost shattered. I did not know what to do, but
Right.
the first thing I did was I wrote a post on LinkedIn. The same
Yeah.
day, after 2 hours, I got to know. I just posted on LinkedIn, and I mean, I think LinkedIn is a great platform, especially if you have good connections. Connections are the main focus area when we are talking about placements off campus. So, all my off campus offers were through LinkedIn only. Because even if you try to apply on the job portals, you don't really hear back from them unless you have a referral, which again you'll have if you know someone in that company. So LinkedIn was a huge help to me. And coming to the job hunt, especially in COVID situation,
Yeah.
which is, I mean, so it is always difficult to bag an off-campus offer, but now when this whole situation started, companies freeze their hirings. So even if you have referrals, the company will not proceed with your application. Even if you apply, like you can apply anywhere, but they'll not proceed because they're freezed hiring.
Okay.
So in this situation, it becomes a bit more difficult because the options are very limited. Like if let's say 100 companies were accepting applications, now only 10 were. So you have to be more prepared for if you get an opportunity.
Okay.
So initially in April, I did not really hear back from a lot of people, and I dedicated all my time in preparation. Like I did a lot of lead code courses. I used to revise my subjects, and I did a few courses on system design and all. Like I was preparing because I just wanted to be prepared for when I do actually have an opportunity to
Right.
showcase what I can do. So, and apart from that, I think whenever we are applying or we want to apply, what we can do is on LinkedIn, we can search for companies which we are interested in and then look for recruiters in those companies. Like this
Okay.
is what I did for Atlassian also. I just typed Atlassian on my search bar. So you get a lot of people. Then what you can do is you can connect with the people who are at the position you are interested in and the recruiters of that company. And then just circulate your resume everywhere. I mean, there would be hardly any replies, but you have to be very, very perseverant in this thing. So what I did was I used to search for companies. Like I used to search Salesforce recruiters, okay, Atlassian recruiters, Adobe recruiters, and I used to send my resume to everyone. And that is how I got to. I received a test link from one of the recruiters only. Like he said, okay, we are hiring freshers for a role, and you can apply for that one. So, but even though I talked to him in April, I got the test link in May. So for that also, one important thing is follow up. You have to follow up with whoever you are talking. Like you can't just send one message and then hope that, okay, they'll respond back themselves. You will have to be very proactive in job hunts. So I used to text him every week for a follow up. Okay, is there any update? When is there going to be a test or anything of that sort? So follow ups are important, and then building a profile on LinkedIn is also important. Like
Do you have any
because
suggestions
recruiter,
for that? How to build a
yeah.
good profile?
So firstly, your profile should be updated. Like you should put whatever you can. Like if you have done any internships, if you're doing any projects, there's a dedicated section for projects, for achievements, for publications. So add all that because recruiters are looking for people. So, and all they can judge you by is your profile. So you need to put as much as you can about yourself on your profile. And then whenever you're looking for jobs, there's a special option in LinkedIn, whether you are looking for a job or not. So you should turn that on because recruiters get to know that you're looking for a job
Right.
using that option. So that is one important thing. And I think with your profile, your connections should be good. Like it is not Facebook or Instagram. You'll add your friends and it'll work. It doesn't work that way. You need to build a network. You need to get in touch with people who are at places you want to be. So, and I believe everyone accepts everyone's requests on LinkedIn. So it's very normal. You can connect with anyone. And if you think you won't, just write a personalized note, and the chances are really good that they'll accept your request. And if you have a genuine concern or you want to talk about anything, you can do that on LinkedIn. Like for Atlassian, I talked to a lot of people at Atlassian, like how their interviews are, what is asked, how can I prepare. So not only for applying, I talked to a lot of people after I applied and before I was going to interview with them, just to be prepared, like what sort of thing it's going to be. So this is an important criteria. I think connections is very important on LinkedIn. Keeping your profile updated is very important. And then being responsive is also important. Like it's a two-way thing. If you help someone, someone else will help you. So if you can help someone, help them. So this is also important because these connections are always two-way. So if someone is texting me, pinging me, I will respond. Similarly, I want others to respond. So
Right.
it works like that. So I've written a few points. I wrote a few
Okay.
points, though I think I covered most of them. But let's just, yeah, one important thing is whenever you are applying for any role, uh, there's a job description given. So go through it and try to make your resume in sync with that job description. Because mostly what recruiters do is they try to find some keywords or some specific skills that they want for that particular position. So try to match your resume with that job description. This matters. And then secondly, for referrals, whenever you are asking for referrals, don't just say, I'm interested in this company, can you give me a referral? This is a very bad idea. They are not going to do your work. You should go to their job portal and find a suitable position for yourself. And there's always a job ID on the portals. So whenever you're asking for referral, mention that job ID. Okay, I'm interested in this position, and tell them your skills, that I think my skills are in sync with the position. So can you please refer
Right.
me? Because
Right.
you cannot expect someone else to do your work. You have to do this
Exactly.
yourself. So always go to the job portals first, find a suitable position, and then ask for referrals. It makes it easier for both of you. So this is one tip that I think is will work, because even if you ask for referrals directly, they are gonna ask you like, send me the job idea you're interested in. So it's better to be proactive and
Might
give
as well
them it
send it
yourself.
first. It shows that
Yeah,
you're prepared, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
So during the COVID situation only, like in April, May, I got mainly 3 offers. All of them were through LinkedIn. Like 2 of the offers, they began with the recruiters themselves contacting me and telling me,
Okay.
okay, we have this position, and are you interested to Atlassian specifically? Like I told, I contacted a recruiter, then I followed up several times. Then
Yeah.
finally in May, I got a test link. And in the test, there were 2 coding questions. One was a basic implementation question, but the second one was difficult. Like it was a deep coding. So 2 of them were technical interviews. The first interview was based on DS and the core computer science subjects. So the DS interview, for the DS interview, we had a hacker rank code pair round where I had to just walk him through the code. And then he asked me several questions in depth of CS subjects like networking and OS, OOPS. One thing which I noticed was they do not try to cover a lot, but they go in depth of whatever they are asking. For example, if they start with process and threads, they are going to go to like how the fork works and what will happen if this happens. Or they'll ask you questions on what kind of process is a zombie process, or how is it different from, uh, let's say, um, often process. So they go in depth. And then in implementation, like in OOPS, when they're asking OOPS, they cover implementations also. So for subjects, you have to be very thorough, and like you should know the concept. Like just mugging up the definitions won't help. You need to know concept because you'll have to apply them. They are not going to ask direct questions. Then for Atlassian, they have a system design round. Like that is their standard criteria. So I knew about this and I was prepared. Like I had a month's time from April to May. So I did all the Atlassian questions on Lead Code Premium, and I did a course on system design. There's a playlist of Gaurav Sen on system design, which is really good. It has some 20-25 videos, which covers more or less everything. And apart from that, there's Interview bit has a system design section. You can refer to that. And for DS preparation, there is a playlist by Aditya Verma, I think, on DP, Dynamic Programming. It's a really
Okay.
good web series. Like it's a really good playlist. You can go through that and you'll you'll get a gist of DP. Then you can attempt questions on your own. So that was how I prepared for a class in. And so covering the 2 tech rounds, the final round was an HR round, which was like how every round goes, like
Okay.
every general HR round.
Okay.
They'll ask
So
you your
do you
experiences and everything.
yeah. Do you think the hiring process changed over this period? Like, were companies more focused on your development skills or your data structures over the COVID period? Was there any change that
Uh,
you observed?
what I felt was when you're interviewing for startups, then yeah, they look at your skills more than your academic credentials. But the criteria for major companies remained the same. Like I interviewed for Reliance and Atlassian, and their interview experience, like I could relate with the interview experiences which were available online with my own experience. So they were very similar. But when we're talking about startups, then yeah, they go for your skills more. So
Okay. And what effect do you think will COVID have on the upcoming internship and placement session?
I think, see, it is gonna be difficult for some time. Like, it'll take some time to get back to normalcy. But because I have experienced myself, I would say it is, you will find a job,
Okay.
and you just need to be like, you need to stick to what you're doing. It's very difficult, but you need to stick. It'll take time. It'll not happen like it used to. Like, even on campus placements were somewhat easy, but this time I think the requirements are going to be less, the vacancies are going to be less, so it'll be difficult. You need to be prepared, is, and that is all you can do right now. I mean, there's nothing you can do. What you can do is work on your skills. So do that, and I think it'll get back to normalcy really soon. So there's nothing to worry about. But yeah, when you are looking for a job, you get depressed, and you just need to keep going. That is important. So,
Right. So, and apart from LinkedIn, would you suggest any other methods to apply for off-campus opportunities?
um, see, earlier, like before this COVID situation started, I was looking for, like, there are a lot of events. Like JP Morgan had that event wherein
Yeah.
you connect, and there are a lot of hackathons and coding contests on Hacker Earth, which are for hiring. Like, hiring contests keep going on, so you can give those. They are very effective. Like, people get calls from those.
Okay.
But I think like LinkedIn plays a major role when you are applying off campus.
Okay. So now, any final tips or tricks that you'd like to share?
I think because right now people are seeing the offers that I did get, they should know that I had a fair share of rejections. I got rejected from JP Morgan. I got rejected from Adobe. I got rejected from Uniqlo, which is a Japanese company. I got rejected from Daikin, which is a Belgian company. I got rejected after Google's on-site round. So there are a lot of companies I got rejected from, but all these rejections taught me something or the other. Like, every interview was a learning experience. You get to know something with every interview. Like, I think I don't have a single interview because you got rejected for a reason. There must be some reason. So always you get to learn. Okay, and after an interview, always think, okay, what if I would have answered this instead of this? Would it have worked? So you think about it, and you think about where you go wrong, where you went wrong, and it helps you. Which I think is Proxy doing. They are providing mock interviews so that
Right.
you don't screw up in your actual interviews. So I had a lot of actual interviews to do that. Let's not go there. But the concept of mock interviews can really help you, because you'll get to know how to drive an interview, which is very important. I think it's an important skill whenever you're finding a job. You need to know how to drive an interview. You should
Okay.
know what are your plus points and what are your weaknesses. So whenever you are going to that direction, you can just take a 180-degree turn. Okay, no, we should not go there. Especially in rounds which are focused on system design, it is very much on the candidate to actually drive the interview. You can use those special words and just and the interview will definitely ask you, okay, what do you mean by this? So, and whenever you are giving an interview, you should try to spend maximum time on topics that you're well versed with, so that the topics you are not very sure about take a very less portion of time. And for this also, again, you should be very prepared. You should at least know some topics to actually drive an entire interview.
Right.
So whatever you're doing, do it really thoroughly, and you should be well versed with your concepts. And even the interviewers do not expect you to know everything. Even if you say, okay, I don't know this, you can be straightforward in interviews. You can say, okay, I don't know this, or I've never worked with this, but I think this can be it. So they will not take it negatively. But if you are giving the same answer for everything, I've never done this,
Yeah.
I've never done this, I've never seen it, then it gives a bad impression. So this is, I think, my tip, that whatever you're doing, do it very nicely, so that you because most of the time you can expect what an interviewer is gonna ask next. So be prepared for that, and best of luck to everyone who is looking for a job.
So I guess that's all. Thank you so much for
Yeah.
being here with us today, Ashi. So you're an inspiration for everyone to keep working hard. And
Thank
yeah,
you for inviting me.
yeah.
Uh,
Thank you so much.
yeah. Okay.